Hi and welcome back to the channel, guys. I got some new hotfixes that were released about 2 days ago. I just ended up, I was a little bit behind because I was trying to get some Apex, and because Season 3 is coming up here soon. But I still am releasing these videos at this point in time. I'm not even going to load into the game, so that way you guys just don't have anything else to deal with. I'm just going to read these off. Looks like they've done some weapon hotfixes for sniper rifles. They've increased the critical damage rate by 20%. They fixed the fire rate increase by 15%. They reduced the time to aim down your sight by 15%. And time to equip by 20%. This is actually pretty good because it'll overall increase usability of sniper rifles. I did feel like the Luda was a little bit slow than what it was in 2, and that was unfortunate. They fixed up some of the pistols. They increased the damage on all TDR pistols by 15%. They increased damage on all doll pistols by 15%. And increased damage on all of the Children of the Vault pistols by 20%. I feel like I actually might use one of the Children of the Vault ones, because they did feel a little bit weak personally. They've reduced the damage on Jacob's pistols by 15%, and reduced the damage on Torgue pistols. So Torgue and Jacob's are no longer going to be as powerful as they were, which is understandable because I was using a level 39 legendary Torgue pistol and was just creaming level 50, so I kind of do understand that. They have changed some of the Maliwan guns. All of Maliwan weapon damage has been increased by 25%, and the fire rate has been increased. But it's only to fix the damage over time for that. This one I'm really happy about, though, is that for the Atlas guns, all Atlas weapon damage has been increased by 25%. They were a little bit slower, and because of the loop that they had to go through, they decided that instead of it, well, they're actually pretty badass guns, don't get me wrong, as you've seen me use them multiple times through the Let's Play. Um, they really want you to take advantage of the fact of the damage that it can actually dish out instead of it being so reduced. I'm really going to enjoy this one personally. They've made some miscellaneous adjustments, like Jacob's assault rifles damage has been increased. They wanted the overall mid to long range fixed on that. They increased doll SMG damage by 10%, which will be good because of the high fire rates. It's really weird, but their damage never really got fixed. Even though they decreased the fire rate on it just to compensate overall damage. Voldoff heavy weapon damage, so rocket launchers and all that in this game. I don't know why it's called heavy ammo in this game instead of just rocket launcher ammo, because it was rocket launcher ammo in the previous ones. Doesn't make any sense to me, but they did it anyways. They've increased the overall damage on this by 25%. I haven't found one of these yet, but apparently there are E-Tech shotguns in this by TDR, and they increased that damage by 50%. They just felt like it wasn't doing enough damage. They've made some modifications to the legendary drop for like the for some of the actual legendary items themselves. Sorry, let me correct myself. The King and Queen's Call fire rate has been reduced by 50%. They're doing that for game balancing. They've decreased the charge times for the Firestorm and Storm base charge time from down to 1 second instead of 2. It's not that big of a difference, but it might cause a little bit of an uproar in the community. And Grave Ward has been buffed. The second Vault boss has now been buffed. They felt like his beam attacks didn't properly scale to level when you're at a higher level at that, and it barely phased any of the players, so they increased his now scaled to level based off of his attack. They reduced his overall health by 20%, but increased his damage resistance to elemental damage. So he has an elemental chance resistance increased by 70%, and an elemental resistance is increased by 30% on top of it. Oh, so he will 70% of the time he will not be affected by a damage over time element, And when he does get affected by it, it's 30% less damage than what it used to be. Damage over time, duration has also been reduced by 30%. They also made some missed changes here. For like the Hollow Point Guardian rank has been temporarily disabled. They say that they're going to be addressing this in a future patch. They're trying to get it fixed for some reason. I don't exactly know what the problem was with that one. Nobody's really informed me at the moment. Vault Thunder should no longer scream when affected by damage over time when shields are active. That was actually starting to bug me because even while I have this massive shield on, that I was still making the screaming sound, which I did not want to hear until I was actually hitting on my health. It makes sense for realism too. So there is that. Vending machines will now be restocked with higher quality items of the day, so that's going to be an interesting. I did notice that a lot of the items of the day were usually green rarity, and I'm really glad that they're trying to fix that. They've adjusted a visual concern on Maliwan shotguns with the cryo element. I don't know what the visual concern was. Honestly, I didn't have any problems with it, but I didn't really use a cryo weapon with Maliwan. I don't pick up Maliwan weapons. They're not my favorite. I'm a Valdov guy. I'm sorry. Legendary loot drops have been balanced throughout the game. Crew challenge enemies will now drop their intended specific loot, which they weren't, and some enemies like Troy and the Rampager, so major bosses, will be a little bit more stingy and no longer drop legendaries on every single kill. They've also made some adjustments to the characters of this game, such as Zane. They have increased his Digiclone damage by 38%. His drone damage has been increased by 50%. This cryo damage penalty has been removed as well. And his drone rocket damage has been increased by 50%. The Almighty Ordnance rockets damage has been increased for 75%. They just really wanted him to be balanced out, because it allows for more versatility within the different setups that it allowed, and they just want to see a lot more diversity in the types of players and builds that people are making. Amara has received a nerf. Her Guardian Angel health restoration is reduced from 100% to half, to 50%. The Glamour damage penalty reduced from 30% to 10%. So that's not too bad. They balanced her out a little bit. Flak has also received some changes. The Gorillas in the Mist duration has been reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. And its critical damage bonus is reduced from 50 to 25%. So all those crit builds out there are going to be suffering for that. And they did not change Mose, surprisingly. I'm actually kind of surprised on the fact they haven't, because she is a little bit overpowered, hence why I play her. I'm not even going to lie about that. But that's all I got for the hot fixes for you guys today. Maybe later today I'm going to post up a video of Apex Legends. Get up on that, because Season 3 drops in just a few hours. Less than a day, it feels like. It'll be starting on October 1st, even though it's only September 29th right now. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-byes. Bye-bye.